Well, we're the Friendly Dog Club. Friendly by name, friendly by nature. We train our dogs from puppies through to adults using only kind methods of training. Remember, no dog is too old to learn new tricks. We combine all of the fun things that we do with dogs and owners and take them out into the community. Our colourful display, which uses the dog's own talents, ends with a finale of doggy line dancing. Well, if people can do it, why can't dogs? We meet at Highcliffe on Thursday evenings and we meet at New Milton on Wednesday mornings. So why not take our lead and come and have a barking mad time? Okay, everyone. Can you all hear me? Wow, 30 years of dog training, I can't believe it. So that means 30 years of summer parties, 30 years of fancy dress, 30 years of doggy demos, and we have done, you'll all know, line dancing, maypole dancing, Morris dancing, musical heel work routines. We've run dog shows, we've done carnival parades, and believe it or not, I lay awake at night planning them. So I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and think, oh, this routine would be good, this would be good. So my son was in St John's Ambulance and they wanted a fundraiser. And I'd just done a course on how to take a class, and I'd also discovered a video which was called Serious Puppy Training, which was a kind training method. So I said, could I, instead of baking cakes, could I use their hall and run an 8-week dog training course? And they said yes.
My name is Ian Dunbar. Welcome to Serious Puppy Training. The purpose of our video program is to teach you how to train your dog. Once you know how to do it, now to get reliability, you have to integrate training into every activity that the dog enjoys. The type of improvement that you can expect from a young puppy is basically infinite. The more work that you do, the better the puppy will be. It's important to realize that training never stops. As soon as you say, well, I've trained that dog, then you're going to start going downhill.
I advertised, we had so many people come, Anne was one of them. They all came along and that was how the Friendly Dog Club started.
So I met Angela just before she started the dog club, and she was doing an event and she asked me to, if I'd like to come along and join in. So I said, oh yeah, sure, I'd be quite interested. So I went along to the very first session, which a lot of people attended. It was really interesting.
Malcolm, my husband, came along, he helped. Amy, who's my daughter, she came along and helped, took taking in money. And anyway, I don't remember how much we made for St John's Ambulance, but it was very successful. And then everybody wanted to carry on. So then I was able to use the hall to carry on. I couldn't think what to call the club. So the name of the club came about because I've been to a lot of clubs and they weren't all dog friendly or people friendly.
When we first started, we wanted a title that would mean there were friendly people and friendly dogs, and the two went together.
So the actual logo that I did had a friendly looking dog, and if you look at it, it's got two hands clasped. So that was to be people friendly. So that was my mission statement, if you like, and the Friendly Dog Club name came about.
The old-fashioned training when we started, when I say old-fashioned, we didn't do the clicker training. We just did normal sits and downs, but not with a clicker. I mean, I started doing training when I was about 18, and training was so different then. The dogs were forced to do things, forced to go in a sit, or you told them off, you never praised them. They were yanked with a chunk chain and it wasn't kind, fair dog training at all.
It was, I say it, you do it. The range of what you taught was very limited. So you did heel work, you did stays, you did recalls, you did a retrieve. If you could get a retrieve, you were allowed to move up a class, yeah? That was pretty much it. And you'd walk round and round in circles, doing sits and about turns. But I don't know, we seemed to enjoy it.
I also came across somebody called Roy Hunter, and again, it was all a bit revolutionary that you could use treats in training, you didn't have to use check chains.
And then Angela and I went off to a seminar and introduced us to clicker training, and I looked at Angela and she looked at me and we said, I think we should be doing that. Perhaps we'll do half a class with it, see how it gets on. And then I said, I think we ought to do the whole class because you could see the difference of how the dog worked and how they worked before without a clicker.
And we went to, I think it was Caythorpe Agricultural College, and he had somebody called Terry Ryan, who's really quite famous now, and she and he, they put together this package with all these dogs, and we played games with the dogs, we did all sorts of things, and it was just great fun. And it was like, can I really run a club without having to use check chains, and can I use treats? So when I came back from that was when I then started introducing all this kind training into the stuff that I was doing, and the classes were built on that.
So we then introduced the clicker and we haven't looked back.
We started introducing fun things, so games, knocking a dice off a box. Again, Roy Hunter, I've got the original fly mouse boxes that he made and I bought, so they probably are 25 years old. So you could teach a dog to hit a pedal and catch a toy. And then we went on and we did scent work, and I found out, you could do scent hurdling. The dogs had to find their own dumbbells off of a board. And then we've progressed that on that they can find their toy on the board. We taught them to go rounds, to go left and right. And all of that is just so far away from the obedience that we used to do, almost to the point where now I think, well, why are we asking our dogs to do a 2-minute stay? Because you're never going to use that. When are you going to do a 2-minute stay? So the actual psychology of it all has changed, and other clubs have changed as well. So it was the introduction of the clicker training, the reward-based method of training, and letting the dogs actually have a bit of power in the training as well, so they could do it. But yeah, training has changed immensely, but a lot of it is based around the dog's well-being and being aware of what the people are doing, what the dogs are doing, instead of just, if I say you've got to do it, you've got to do it. And you get much happier dogs and much happier people. And I often say that at the club, we're jack of all, master of none. So we do all sorts of things. We do tribal, so the dogs are herding balls. We just have a little go at doing something new that comes up, and we're free to do it, and everybody really enjoys it.
Angela and I have done many mad things together.
And then Anne and I went away on a couple of different weekends.
We went on a dog training session where we went camping at Longleat in a tent.
I can't remember much about the training, but all I remember is as we arrived and we took my daughter Amy and her friend Natalie, it started to rain, and it rained and it rained.
We got into bed in our sleeping bags that night, and I had a leak my side which was dripping down straight onto my bed, and the dog was getting wet, and so she sat there shivering away. So in the end she was in the sleeping bag with me.
We had a fabulous time. The girls went off into Longleat and searched around, and yeah, so we did have a good time.
I should think we were almost steaming by the morning.
And I could always remember them saying, don't let the dogs go in the water because there's seals in the water and they might attack your dog. I don't know why that stuck in my head.
But it was a good training session again, but it was a very wet weekend.
And then we had a very memorable trip with somebody called Kay Lawrence. And we went to Blaisdon Manor, I think it was, which is now a wedding venue place. And I had a black Labrador then, and Anne had a different Schnauzer, and we left them in our room when we went off to listen to a talk on something. And when we came back, the door had a Yale lock on it. And my dog had jumped up. She got in a panic because she was left, jumped up and locked the Yale lock. so we couldn't get into the room, and she was going bananas. There was no groundsman or anything, so there was nobody. It was over the weekend, there was no ladders or anything, and this building was massive. It was a really old building. So this chap called Bob had a room just along from us, so I climbed out of his window, and in true James Bond style I edged across the parapet, and luckily there was a window just a little bit open, and I was able to get into the room and rescue the dogs, and luckily I didn't fall down. And then the room was wrecked, so Emma had scratched all this beautiful wood interior, the door, the windowsills and everything. So Anne and I went and got some tea bags, used tea bags, and we were filling in all these scratches with the tea bags. So we've had some adventures.
We went up to Gloucester doing a training session up there with agility, once again a residential course, but we learnt a lot up there and how they did their training, so we could bring ideas back to here. And that's why we went to all these seminars and training sessions, to try and get different ideas of how we could improve here.
Line dancing, it goes back to Roy Hunter. He made a book of dog games, which I still have the original. It's just pieces of paper in cellophane in a folder, which was the original. And he did this barn dance, which is a bit like, you know, a line dance.
Well, it was first of all getting the steps in and what we were going to do and what was possible to do with the dogs and the people, and learning it, and then getting the right music that you could plod along to, nothing too fast and nothing too slow.
There's something called the Association of Pet Dog Trainers, which I belong to, and somebody there saw it or heard about it, thought it was amazing, and she had a connection with the Royal Variety Club of Great Britain. She said it would be great if we could get APDT members from all over the country to come to this Royal Variety Club of Great Britain and actually do the line dance. Again, Anne and I went to various clubs in various locations around the country, and we taught them the line dance.
One of the routines that we were doing was leg over your dog, you see. So I'm standing there, I was like saying odd, I mean, you know what I mean, don't you? And I'm sort of saying things like, and everybody leg over. And you don't realise what it is. And then the other one, isn't it, is put your dogs down. They will leave at that point, in the foundation class. All right, the ladies that are in a group without a dog, I've got two. One of you, could you go and join that group over there? Can you put your hands up, you three? Is there anybody else?
But when we went up to teach the line dance to some clubs, that was fun. It was just Andrew and I. We stayed somewhere, had bed and breakfast, and then went off to a training session, taught them how to do the line dance, and then came home.
We got everybody there on the day, 2 days, we did it for 2 days. It was amazing, and actually when I look back, I can't believe that I got all these 60, well over 2 days it was 120 dogs, so we had about 66 on each day, and they all came from all the locations to Broadlands at Romsey, and I got everybody together. We had hundreds, we had all 60 odd mats because people got their positions on the mats. We managed to get them to parade on. We had Norman with Rupert, who was pulling the carriage, and Anne's dog all dressed up in cowboy, everybody dressed in cowboy, you know, line dancing kit. And Rupert led the parade on. And anyway, everybody got into place with their right groups. So each club that had trained wanted, obviously, they had to be in their group. And we had a lot of people, obviously, from the Friendly Dog Club as well. And Esther Rantzen was there, and she went round and counted the number of dogs. I think it was 66, just to confirm. I thought we might get in the Guinness Book of Records, but we didn't. We did get into an in-flight magazine on an airline. I don't know how we did that. And lots of people bought the line dance video, which we had Teach Yourself Line Dancing, doggy line dancing. Anyway, we did it, and it was a massive success. They filmed it all, and one chap from a dog magazine after us, he came up to me and he said, you know, he said, I came along because I thought this was just going to be an absolute shambles of dogs weeing, pooing, fighting, barking. He said it was amazing, and it was a truly good moment. And now that line dance, we still are doing it in demos today, and this year we did it for Dogstival, and I think we had about 30 odd dogs doing it. But it's exactly the same line dance, which has stood the test of time. Don't ask me how, but we did it.
And we did all sorts of different things with carnivals, different themes that came about.
Bo Peep, Wallace and Gromit. We've done snowmen, we've done cowboys. Yeah, we've done all sorts over the years.
And everybody seemed to join in and enjoy it. And the dogs seemed to enjoy it as well.
And again with demos, we got asked, started off to ask to do a demo for the Rotary Club. And that was in the rec opposite where I was training in Highcliffe. And we've done things like the day in the life of a friendly dog. So we did the dogs going to school, sitting having breakfast.
Okay, they got to sit nicely. We don't want any squabbles at the table. One on each plate, and they have to learn to leave it. Okay, thank you very much. Now, if you give the £5 back to David, and if you go over and see Rupert over there, they've got something for you. Right, now one at a time, the dogs are going to come forward. Well, I think actually it would be better if you pick the plates up and give it to them. So let's have Louis first. He has to eat it nicely. Okay, now Mustard. And Tom. See how nicely he's sitting there? Well, he was.
Fetching the newspaper, going on a sports day, doing sports day things. And then after that, somehow I got in my head that we could do a Morris dance. So we did a Morris dance and we had all the bells and people clashing bells. We didn't really skip, I don't think. And then very challenging, a maypole dance, which we did. We did it right, except for once. And we did get in a bit of a knot. So my weird brain has got people doing all these things. But what always has motivated me is the fact that the people from the club, when I said, you know, somebody's asked us to do a demo, would you like to do it? Oh yeah, we'll have a go. And also all of those things that we've done have helped raise money for charity. So we've done Rotary clubs, we've done dog shows and lots of different things.
I'm getting older, I feel the weight up on my shoulders. I'm strong enough, I'll rise above, it's all gonna be okay. If I can be anything, I think I'm gonna be me. I know I gotta be me. Nowhere else I wanna go, no one else I'd rather be. I think I'm gonna be me. Just trying to navigate. Oh, I keep on believing I'm gonna find my way with every day. I'm getting older, I feel the weight up on my shoulders. I'm strong enough, I'll rise above. It's all gonna be okay. If I can be anything, I think I'm gonna be me. I know I gotta be me. Nowhere else I wanna go, no
and the last one is dog to dog, and you should be back where you started. So if you think about that as just being like weaving in and out, but in a square. All right? And what I would suggest is that as you're passing the dogs is when you make sure you've got the treat in your hand. Yeah? So you're keeping them with you as you go past.
When we did the 30th birthday, there was somebody who came with me. They came to do it with us, and she and her husband came up and said, "Do you remember when we did that dodgy line dance?"
Yanky Panky. It's time to grab your gingham and slip on that silk shirt with the rhinestone stallion motif. Yep, that's right. It's time for some more rip-roaring fun with Line Dancer of the Week. Now, quite often on this show, I feel like looking at my guests and saying, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And in this case, I'd be right. Well, actually, they're a terrier, a collie, and a giant schnauzer, and a lot more besides. Folks, I want you to meet Angela Horsley and her legendary line dancing dogs from Highcliffe in Dorset. Everybody say hi to the folks. Give a little wave there. Say hi to the folks. Woohoo! The little dogs are waving too. Hi, darling. Oh, Angela, you're in charge of this motley bunch here and these beautiful dogs. Come on, Jason. There you go. Now, you know, all stars have their demands. For example, I will not do a show if any of the sound technicians have facial hair. You understand that? I mean, you know, you have to have your demands. What are any of your dogs a little starry? Do they have their demands? Do they want their own lamppost?
Definitely, they like their own lamppost, and they like the very best sausages and chicken.
Now, Angela, I understand that Jason is smarter than a lot of guys I know, because not only can he dance, but he can do sums too. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if I was to say what's 2 plus 3, you'd be able to do that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Try. Okay.
So
right.
2 plus 3, yeah?
All right. Okay, Jason, what's 2 plus 3? Very good.
That was right. Was that right? That was right. That was great. All right. Woohoo! For the first and maybe the last time on British TV, here is Angela and her line dancing dogs with a dance called the Poopa Scooper Slide. All right, get into positions, everybody. Come on. All right, let's go. This is so thrilling. Y'all ready? Come on, hit it.
So, I have no idea when it was, but anyway, the 90s, I suppose. And again, I don't know how I got involved. Somebody, I think, had heard about the line dance, and it had gone out. It had gone on to, as I say, it was on an in-flight magazine on a plane. Anyway, somebody must have contacted me and asked if we would go on TV and do the line dance. And in my youth, I was up for anything. So yeah, okay, we'll do it. So 8 of us, I think it was. We went up to this studio, and when we got there, we were put in a holding room, is all I can describe it as. We didn't see anybody else. And eventually they came and got us, and they took us into the studio where it was all being filmed, and they had like a stage. They had all the, you know, cowboy kind of gear. And I didn't realise that it was a little bit risque in my innocence. Anyway, we got into the studio and this person came up to us, and it was a drag queen. Beautifully turned out with the nails and the hair and everything. And it was sort of serious but mocking us, is all I can say. Anyway, by then we were too far into it. So we got on and we did this line dance. And it was hysterical. And afterwards we were just going, how did we get into doing that? So we did have quite a laugh when we did it. And it was just like one of those things you look back on and think, oh my God, how did I get into that?
Yanky Panky.
So the club, it just kept going. It wasn't through advertising, it was people talking to people, people enjoying what they were doing. And we have actually got people that have been coming for, well, probably for nearer the 30 years actually. I started off with just doing like one evening, and then that grew, and then it got to 2 days, then it was daytimes, and then it was evenings.
I joined the club 19 years ago with a deaf collie, a rescue shepherd and a miniature poodle.
What's your dog's name?
It's Dottie.
Can you tell me a bit about your dog?
Yes, she's 7. She's a border collie, or working sheepdog. I had her at 6 months, and she was born deaf, and they couldn't keep her because she was getting out and chasing all the other dogs and everything. So I took her on, basically, and tried to train her.
All right, okay.
So she works on hand signals, and I do talk to her as though she does hear, because I think she watches my face, and she's just picked up from there, really. It takes a little bit longer to teach her something, and sometimes she doesn't realise what I want her to do, but once she's got the idea, she's good. I'd always trained in obedience competition, and I didn't want to do that again. I wanted something where the dogs could really enjoy themselves, relax, I could relax, and have fun. And I thought, well, I'd given up. And then I thought, no. I saw the Friendly Dog Club advertised in the paper, and I thought, oh, do I try once more? And I did, and the welcome was so great. I was worried, I was nervous, and they did this clicker thing that I really hadn't a clue what it was all about. And the welcome was so good, we stayed, and I'm still here 19 years later.
It was quite hard to find people to come in, so Anne joined as a trainer, assisting and taking classes, and then later on we got Kate came in.
Through Dogs, we took on a lurcher pup who was very naughty, and we decided we needed to do some training classes with her, and some friends of mine recommended the Friendly Dog Club because they had been bringing their Labradors here. So I rang up, spoke to Angela and David, and signed up Lily, the lurcher, for dog training classes. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and then we got another rescue from dog and started bringing her as well. And following on from that, Angela asked me if I would like to assist in the classes here.
It's quite difficult to find the right people who know about dog training and are also very good with people, because most of what we do, apart from dog training, is people.
I think she could see that everything about me was doggy, and I loved working with dogs, and that's how I got involved with the Friendly Dog Club. I started as a client and then became an assistant and became a trainer.
Kate, since joining the training team some years ago, has been a very positive influence within the club. She's an innovative trainer, a great organiser and a true friend you can rely on. It's through her positive guidance that about 10 years ago Rachel was encouraged to move from assisting to teaching classes. Also, Billy Joe has now been assisting with classes for about 8 years, and more recently Melissa has joined us.
When we were doing the Good Citizen tests, we really struggled to find someone to come and assess the tests. It had to be either a kennel club judge or a dog warden, and they were few and far between. So it was decided that I would go to the kennel club and become an approved examiner for the Good Citizen Awards. So I had to go up to the kennel club building, which is Birmingham Way. And I had to do a course to become an examiner for bronze, and then a course to become an examiner for silver, and then a course to become an examiner for gold. I'm not allowed to examine my pupils, so I'm allowed to examine Angela's and Rachel's pupils and Anne's pupils. I also examine for other clubs in the area, so there's only 1 or 2 other clubs in the area that do the Kennel Club Good Citizen Dog Scheme Awards, but I go over there and examine for them. I think becoming a Kennel Club approved instructor in companion dog training was scarier, because I actually I had to have someone come and assess me, take a class. We did kind of manage it so that we had a nice class that he came to watch rather than a naughty class, but that was an experience. The agility side of things, we started because we used to, on bank holidays and half terms, go down to Dyer's Paddock and have a go on some old agility equipment that we had down there, just as something different to do. And then through the summer, we tended to do summer school agility. So we invested in some proper agility equipment back when we had the farm. And Rachel and I started teaching fun agility. We call it fun agility. We teach it as agility should be taught, but we don't make the people run fast, and we don't expect too much from the dogs. It's fun. We teach all the right moves, and it's meant to be something that the dogs look forward to, as is all the training we do. It's meant to be fun. If it's not fun, the dogs aren't going to want to do it. So the agility, we're currently doing it at Lizzie's farm in Brockenhurst. And yeah, we've got a full set of proper agility equipment, KC registered sizes and everything. Again, we still do it as summer school. We take most of the classes from here up to the agility field and just do agility. It gives us a break, and it gives the dogs something fun to do in the nice weather.
A hall at Highcliffe, Mudderford, then we've been down here. We have many places that we've done it. Every time we did a dog training session, we had to pack a truck up, take all the agility equipment, everything that we needed to the venue, then take it all off the truck, take it all in, set it all up, the classes happened, then you had to pack it all up, the truck up, take it home, unload it, put it in the garage. It was hard work.
I should pay tribute to somebody called David, who actually joined, I can't remember the date that he joined, but he joined the club, and he was just one of those people that liked to muck in and help. So he started taking money, this was when we were at the Ballard Lake Hut, and then we did a dog walk one day, and we were out, and he said, you know that hut on Long Meadow we were walking past? He said, it's empty. So we came and had a look, and it was supposed to be an air training corps hut, but they weren't using it. And some kids had broken in through the back. There was a hole in the wall at the back of the hall, and they'd set up camp in here, and they had electricity and heaters and everything. They got, believe it or not, an ironing board. I don't know why they had an iron. They had a TV, they had toilets. Anyway, so I then went to the council and asked them if they would let me use it as a dog training venue, and it finished up with the Air Training Corps discovering that it wasn't being used, and then they sold the building to me, and I pay the council rent for the land that it's on for being here. And that was how we came to be in this building. So we started off with a 5-year lease, and then because they wanted to put the rent up, they changed it to a 3-year lease. I think it was 2011. I happened to meet somebody outside, and they said, did you know that there's been a council meeting to say that you're not using the building and they're not going to renew your lease? No, don't know anything about that. And so I got onto the council, and somebody had said that we weren't using the hut, that we were in financial difficulties, and so that they weren't going to renew the lease. So there was a massive campaign, massive.
Well, we just sort of came together and
decided, you know, we were going to fight it, really. We went to the meetings, we sat outside and just hoped it would go ahead and we'd be okay.
And we got everybody we knew from years back to write letters to the town clerk, Graham Flexman, and he said to me, he said, I have never had such a big response to something.
He had a stack of letters supporting us.
And he said, there's no negatives at all. Everybody supports you.
I think people didn't think that perhaps we did very much, but we do a lot. And over the years, 30 years, I'd love to know how many dogs have been through this club. Thousands.
So we had counsellors that have been here. We had, just so many different people, and they all rallied round and we did a big, you know, save the club.
And the support from current members of the club and the support we had from previous members of the club was amazing.
Obviously the council had to back down, so we don't know who it was that had decided we weren't doing anything.
They haven't suggested that they don't renew our lease since, so it worked.
The New Milton Town Council decided to run a New Milton's Got Talent competition. And again, I don't know how we got involved, but we decided we would go and do our line dance. And we practiced it in the hall. It was all fine. So we knew the space because the stage is not very big. On the day when we went, we all came in from the back and we went up onto the stage and we lined up. It was dark, there was lights, there was people, and the music started playing and I'm calling it. All right, so we have since recorded it. So if I go wrong, I have gone wrong when calling it and people are going, what? Yeah, anyway, so I'm up on the stage and I had Roxy and she did the line dance perfectly in here, it's fine. Anyway, we got on the stage and it became very apparent that she was frightened, terrified of the lights and the noise and everything. So I'm trying to call this line dance and doing it, and she was fighting me every step of the way. Anyway, eventually she slipped her lead and she's running round the stage with me calling the line dance, chasing after her, trying to catch her. Luckily, my friend Jenny was there and Roxy loves her. So Jenny runs onto the stage and actually manages to get hold of her and we got the lead back on and we took her off. And I just come back in and carry on doing this wretched line dance. But we came second, I think. But yeah, poor Roxy. I never even thought about her being scared, but she was terrified.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
COVID was a challenge for everyone, including us. We had to close our doors.
Before lockdown, we were all worried about, you know, being in the hall together and everything. But then when lockdown came and it had to close, that really was awful.
It was a very strange time because as well as, you know, being colleagues here, we've become like a family. So we went from seeing each other 3 nights a week to not being able to see each other at all. We needed to still offer some sort of support, especially to puppies.
We then ventured to doing online stuff, so Zoom training for the classes.
Very, very, very different. And obviously you're restricted, you can't do recalls with distractions via Zoom.
Some people didn't have enough room in their homes, some people had plenty of room, and some people couldn't get the signal at all.
I won't say it was easy.
What happened, I decided, because nobody was there, I went out of the meeting and then I got Liz's message and I just opened it again and then you all came in because I thought, well, maybe I'd clicked on the 12 o'clock one instead of the 11 o'clock one. Mine
said you were already on another meeting.
Yeah, that's exactly what mine said. And I must have tried about 8 minutes to or Oh, right. I was maybe I made the mistake of clicking on the 12 o'clock one. I don't know. It's really weird because I ended it. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes and then I've just come back in and there you all are. So maybe it was my error. The technology, it's not the classes, it's the technology.
The classes that I had, I was doing it from my dining room, which is not very big. So each day there's lessons coming, you're pushing all the furniture back so you've got enough space, and thinking of exercises that people could do in the space of their own living rooms. That was a challenge, but once again people rose to the challenge and we kept going, and we kept a little bit of an income coming in. We kept the puppies, doing the puppy classes,
and it was a lifesaver really.
Not something I'd really want to repeat. I much prefer being in, there in person and being able to demonstrate things. When you're on Zoom, it's getting the camera angle right to, be able to move your chair out the way and demonstrate something with your dog who's decided they want to go downstairs and sleep on the sofa and not stay in the office with you.
There's nothing like being in the hall and doing it, but at least it filled a gap with COVID when you couldn't get out and do anything.
And there are some people that carried on with Zoom training, but for us it didn't really work. We wanted to get back in to where you can actually physically see people and be with people, and you can't socialise dogs on Zoom. It doesn't really work.
Gradually got back again to gaining the confidence when we were allowed to come back.
It was great to get back to doing in-person training. We obviously had to adjust it. We could only have a group of 6 people, I think, after the lockdown, so we could only have 1 trainer per group and 5 dogs. Build stations in here, so there was like 5 stations 2 metres apart, and then the trainer had to stay 2 metres apart from all the dogs, which again was difficult when you were doing things like recall and you needed to hold a dog. So we had to kind of like at arm's length pass the lead, and then I had to sanitise my hands between each recall so that I wasn't contaminating people's leads. So it was really hard, but it was great to get back into it in person.
If you're talking to a group of people and you've got a mask on, also for the dogs I think it's quite a challenge that they can't see your faces, so when you're training they feed off of the way you're acting, looking, smiling, all the rest of it. So I didn't like it, but we did do it for as long as we needed to. And again, everybody came back. They were quite happy. They were really keen to get back and do something with their dogs again.
I took longer probably than most to come back because of my husband. But he actually we did get COVID. He didn't get as bad as I did. Didn't know whether we'd ever get it back as it was again. But I think it's come back stronger than ever because of that.
It was a challenge.
I think we were lucky to keep going like we did.
It really was probably one of the worst things about COVID, that you couldn't get back into training.
It was very odd, very odd.
Yeah, the club survived again, yeah. And everybody came back and we're going strong.
And it seems like a distant memory now, really. It almost seems like it never happened.
Going back some years, I came across something called Prevent-A-Bite, which is going into schools or youth groups.
Now, how to stroke the dog. I'm going to have volunteers come up in a minute. How to stroke the dog. Now, if you've come forward, my dog's come forward and sniffed my hand and says, yes, I want you to stroke me, I like you. First of all, don't put your face near to the dog's face. Put your arm down. If you look at the little boy here, he's got his arm well away. His arm's well down, his face is well away from the dog, because they don't like you staring at them. The dog walks forward. Am I going to go, there's a good dog? Am I going to do that? Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand out and I'm just going to stroke the side of the dog's face very gently.
And some children are so frightened of animals, they think every dog's going to bite them. So we got them all into a hall and we used to get them down on the floor and crouch, and then we'd walk round with the dogs and we'd say, we've got to tuck in and tuck your head in and tuck your arms in. And the dogs would just go along and sniff them. And if they weren't scared then we'd get the dogs jumping over them and then meeting the dogs and showed them how to approach a dog and when you must never touch a dog or put your face into a dog's face.
And we did quite a lot of that. We used to go into schools. I went out to Petersfield. We did a whole day, and I'd take a team of people in, and you'd always get some children that were terrified of dogs, so we'd get the smaller dogs and take them off to one side. Even some of the teachers were terrified of the dogs. So that was a really rewarding thing to do. And then, I don't know, that kind of petered out and stopped, but we now have something called CAD, which is Kids Around Dogs, and Kate and I have both done the training for that.
We go into nursery schools with dogs, teaching the kids there to how to approach a dog, not to approach a dog if it's on its own, always to ask, not to go near dogs when they're sleeping or eating or have a toy, teaching them not to go in and bash them on top of the head, give them a tickle under the chin instead.
To be honest, it is just the preventer bite, exactly pretty much the same as I used to do going back. So yeah, we've been into a few schools, so we've kept that going.
And it's really great to be teaching future generations to be safe around dogs.
And that was really nice because the children really respond very well to the dogs. But at the same time, they're being taught some discipline and around, you know, you can't just rush up to a dog and hug it, or, you know, you've got to think about how the dog feels when you're doing it. And it's a nice thing to do, to educate children and young people. And also, Di and I belong to Caring Canines, and we go to an adult, it's called the Juniper Centre in Christchurch. It's adults with learning difficulties.
They love it. It's once a month, they look forward to the dogs go in and greet everybody and then do all their tricks. So we're there for about an hour, and both dogs are working, and they're all watching and joining in when they are able to. She does the tricks in all the nursing homes and things, as with Ruby, and she loves showing off and get the bag out, whoa, where are we going?
And we have great fun because we're able to do all our tricks. And we get the people to join in as well, doing things. So the dogs are knocking dice off the box and marking something off on a sheet. And they have a go at putting the scent cloth under something, so the dogs go and find the scent cloth, and they love it. So yeah, they're nice things to do with dogs. And actually, it's so much more rewarding than actually just doing competition stuff. So yeah, we really enjoy that.
We also have a lot of Duke of Edinburgh students come and do their voluntary work with us. Mostly clients' children. They have to do so many hours voluntary work to get the DOV award. Yeah, so leading on from being a dog trainer, we had a client who was in a wheelchair and wanted to train her dog as an assistance dog. And there's a charity called Dog Assistance in Disability who take volunteer trainers and pair them with a client, and they then train the dog to do all the task work that specific person needs. And this client wanted continuity in her training, so she asked me to become a volunteer trainer for Dog Assistance in Disability so that I could do her training. So I applied to become a volunteer dog trainer with Dog Aid, and I passed, and since then we trained that first initial dog up. They have to pass 3 levels to become an assistance dog, and then they get their jacket and they get all the same privileges as guide dogs and hearing dogs, etc. I've since trained another dog and handler up to level 3. They've passed and they're now fully qualified, and I've got a new client and we're just starting with the level 1. So it's quite fun. As well as training the obedience like loose lead, walking and stay, the task work is very much trick training. So getting dogs to load the washing machine, unload the washing machine, switch on lights, pick up dropped items such as credit cards. You think how hard it is for a dog to pick up something that's flat on the floor. So yeah, it's really good fun.
That's a first. That's a definite first. I have never ever seen a line dancing dog school before. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And as I say, if you want to get involved, They're based New Milton, Barton-on-Sea, Milford, Highcliffe, all around there, and has been going for, as we heard from Angela, quite a while. Angela, was it 30 years? 30 years, and in recognition of your 30 years of doing it, we have a little trophy for you, saying Friendly Dog Club celebrating 30 years at Dogstival. There you are, you can put that on your mantelpiece. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Well done.
Well, obviously, it's very special. I've made a lot of very lovely friends over the years. I didn't realise that I had such a passion for dog training, and being able to produce my own club, doing the things that I wanted to do, and also I think to improve the lot of dog training over the years. It does mean the world to me, which is why I'm still doing it at 74.
Something happened when you walked out through my door. Can't imagine what my life was like before. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. I'm a dreamer, but never dreamed a thing like this. What a feeling, flying through the universe. Oh, 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 oh.
Everything with the dogs revolves around the dog club, because what they've learnt, what they're like, is because we came here. And they're happy, they enjoy it. And when I was doing obedience training, all right, they did it, but it wasn't rewarding, and it wasn't, not like they are now by any means.
It's actually our joint love of dogs and kind dog training that brings us all together as a family, and thus hopefully ensures the future of the Friendly Dog Club. Over the years, Kate has organised some lovely memory gifts for me, is all I can call them. There was a beautiful portrait of my two flat coats, Jack and Jess, a very unusual 20-year wall plaque, and then 25 years was another plaque, it's the only way I can describe it, with individually signed paw prints, which were put into it, and they were signed by everyone in the club, and they're certainly gifts to cherish. Yeah, I love doing it. I love the people, love the dogs, love the challenges that it's presented to me over the years, and the fact that everybody enjoys it so much that it just carries itself forward. And it's such a positive vibe, which I think when we did the 30th party, you just get that vibe of how many people have made friends over the years. We've all had dogs, we've lost dogs, and it's just lovely and wonderful to be the person that began that journey.
Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Oh, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best day of my life.
You know, I would never have dreamed when I started that St John's Ambulance fundraiser that I'd still be doing it 30 years afterwards.
I shall always be grateful for joining the club and helping others to enjoy it as well.
You know, some people that do dog training, they go out on the behavioural side and one-to-ones. Now, I've done lots of one-to-ones over the years, but my passion is doing a class and having all the people in the class. When you do a one-to-one, people usually want a quick fix, and that's not what dog training is about. It's a long haul, depending on what dog you've got and what challenges that dog happens to present, and we've seen a lot. Some people do it for the money. I've been lucky enough that I've never had to do it for the money. It's always been a hobby that pays for itself. And I've often said, not that you need to include it, but I'd rather go out and do a dog training class and earn enough money to pay somebody to come and clean my house.
You know, you meet such a lot of nice people. The people that stay and continue have the same mind, and we have a lovely time.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the training, and what I enjoy about the training is when people come in and they're brand new with a brand new puppy and you can see them improving, and they don't think they're improving, but you can see it. Yeah, it's what I enjoy about it.
It's lovely to see them, the puppies coming on, and the handlers thinking, well, this is fun, you know, and they're relaxing, and that's great.
I think, as well as it being my job, it is my life, and the rest of the team and also so many of the members have become, you know, really good friends, almost like family. So obviously with Rach and I, we go off to gigs and festivals together. You know, I've got clients, did the readings at my wedding, and you know, it's so much more than a job.
Because I just like doing it, yeah. And I mean, I'll lay awake at night, as you know in your classes, thinking of challenging things for you to do. So yeah, it's very rewarding, and it's lovely to have so many lovely people around, which is really great.
I'll let you know, it's so incredible. I'm finally letting go. Up and away, yeah, we go. I found my flow right on time, and now I know what it feels like to shine like gold. Up and away, yeah, we go. I don't gotta worry about a single thing. I can feel the light coming down on me. Sunshine on my face. I got sunshine on my face. I don't got a care in the world right now. Higher than the ceiling, breaking through the clouds. Sunshine on my face. I got sunshine on my face. Yeah. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I gotta let you know, I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I got sunshine.